This is Guy. Guy is having a dilemma. Guy is having it out loud. Alone. Yeah, hi, I'm Guy. I do this. It's fine. Okay, realistically, what are my options here? Option 1. Work extremely hard for 40 years, retire at 67, and buy a boat I am too tired to sail. Sensational. Option 2. Marry rich. Now, I'm not going to be unreasonable about this. I have $411 in standards. There are about 4 billion women on this planet. She has to be kind, funny, reads actual books, actual ones, has opinions about architecture, laughs at my jokes on purpose, doesn't mind that I own 2 forks, or that both of them are from a hotel, and her family owns something with a name carved into it. And she has to be willing to date me. 0 out of 4 billion. That's not a filter. That's a wall with a picture of a filter on it. So I lowered my standards to 2 dimensions. Her name is Yumi. She's very supportive. She doesn't say much. She has never once asked what I do for a living. We have that in common. And then, because the universe has a sense of humor and it is not a kind one, I met Margot. She laughed at my joke, the bad one, on purpose. She was kind, she was funny, she read actual books, and her family has had money since before this country had a flag. 3 weeks later, I'm married, and I'm sitting at their dinner table. There are 9 forks. I have counted them 4 times. I've been told tonight isn't a test. Everyone here has told me that, separately, which is how I know it's a test. And here's the part nobody mentions about marrying into old money. They don't give you any. Not because they're cruel, because they can't. Nobody here owns it. There's a hierarchy in this room, and I'm not on it. 6 people stand between me and that money, and I'm going to meet every single one of them before dessert. Level 1 just walked through the door. That's my first mistake. A guest is anyone who can be uninvited. That's the whole definition. I meet Dorian first. Dorian is Margot's second cousin. Dorian is 41 and describes himself as between ventures. Dorian has been between ventures since 2009. There was an app for dogs, then a rum brand, then briefly an app for dog rum, then consulting, then a podcast about consulting. Sensational. The podcast has 4 episodes. 2 of them are apologies for the gap. He asks what I do. I tell him. He says, "Oh, that's real work," and pats my shoulder like I've survived something. Here's what I don't know yet. Dorian isn't being rude. Dorian is checking. Every family like this runs an informal audit on new people, and the question is never, "Are you rich?" It's, "Do you need anything?" Because the moment you need something, you become a cost, and costs get discussed. I have $411. I am extremely a cost. I am, in accounting terms, a liability with a haircut. But Dorian isn't the problem. Dorian can't decide anything. Dorian is at the bottom, and so am I. Level 2 is me. Technically. Provisionally. I'm seated at the far end, next to a woman named Pilar, who married in 19 years ago. Pilar is the most useful person I will meet tonight. Pilar tells me 2 things. Rule 1. Her name is on nothing. Not the house, not the cars, not the account the house is paid from. Rule 2. She has never once been short of money. Both of those are true at the same time. Let me explain. Imagine a vending machine. You don't own the vending machine. You can't sell it, you can't move it, you can't look inside it. But it gives you a sandwich whenever you press the button. That's Pilar. That's every spouse here. You don't get the machine, you get button access. Also, the sandwich is a house. Sometimes the sandwich is a car. Once, apparently, the sandwich was a small vineyard. 19 years she's been pressing that button. She has never once been allowed to look at the receipt. And here's the thing about button access. Somebody else decides when the button stops working, right? Well, not exactly. It's worse. We'll get to that. Level 3 is Margot, and her brother Anselm, who has not made eye contact with me once. Beneficiaries are the people the money is for, which sounds like the top. It is not the top. It is the middle. A beneficiary doesn't get money. A beneficiary gets distributions. Let me explain. A salary is a tap. You turn it, water comes out, it's yours, you decide. A distribution is somebody else holding a jug, standing on the other side of a wall, pouring when they think you need it. You can ask, you can explain why, you cannot turn the tap. There is no tap. Anselm asked for a boat 2 years ago. Anselm did not get a boat. Anselm still brings up the boat. Anselm has a folder about the boat. It has tabs. It has a contents page. He brought it to a christening. He brought it to 2 christenings. But here's the part that actually got me. Margot, who grew up in this house, whose surname is on the building, Margot fills out a form. She fills out a form to access her own family's money. So who reads the form? 4 people read the form. They meet twice a year. In this room. This is the distribution committee. 2 family members, 1 lawyer, and an accountant named Ruth who has worked for them for 31 years. Ruth is the most powerful person I meet tonight. Ruth brought a Tupperware. Ruth has personally ended more dreams than any villain in cinema. Ruth does not know this about herself. Ruth has a cardigan. Ruth eats lunch at 11:40. There is a painting in the hall of a man who once owned 3 shipyards. He had to ask Ruth's predecessor for a conservatory. He did not get the conservatory. Here's how it actually works, and this is where it stops being about a rich family and starts being about architecture. Step 1. The money isn't in a person. It's in a trust, a container with rules written into it. Step 2. The rules say who can receive, not who does. Step 3. The committee decides who does. Twice a year, in a room, with Tupperware. And step 4 is the good bit. The committee can say no forever, and nobody can sue them for it, because saying no is their job. Anselm's boat wasn't rejected by a person who hated him. It was rejected by a procedure, which is so much worse. You can argue with a person. So the committee has the power, right? Well, not exactly. Level 5 isn't at dinner. Level 5 has never been to this house. Level 5 is a corporate trustee, a building, in another city. It has a lobby. The lobby has a fern. The fern has more say in this family than I do. The committee recommends. The trustee executes. And the trustee can overrule the committee, because the trustee has a legal duty that outranks everybody's feelings. Let me explain. Think of a referee at a kid's football match. The parents scream, the coach screams, the referee does not care. Because the referee doesn't work for the parents. The referee works for the rules. Now imagine the referee also holds the ball, the pitch, the goalposts, and everyone's car keys. That's a trustee. Pilar told me one more thing, at the end, quietly, while the plates were being cleared. In 1987, the family asked the trustee to release capital for a business. The trustee said no. The business went to someone else. That someone else is now on television. They still can't do anything about it. But the trustee isn't the top either. Level 6 is a man named Augustine. Augustine has been dead since 1934. Augustine is in charge. Augustine has been dead for 92 years. Augustine has a better credit rating than me. Augustine never met me. Augustine does not care for me. Augustine has opinions about my marriage. Augustine wrote them down. Augustine wrote the rules into the trust before he died. Who qualifies? What counts as a good reason? How long it lasts? And then he stopped being alive, which means nobody can negotiate with him. This has a name. Lawyers call it the dead hand. Let me explain, because it's the whole thing. You know how a will gives your stuff away once? A trust doesn't do that. A trust gives instructions forever. It's the difference between leaving your kid a bicycle and leaving your kid a bicycle with a note that says who's allowed to ride it, on which days, until the year 2140. Ruth doesn't decide. Ruth interprets. The trustee doesn't decide. The trustee complies. Margot doesn't own anything. Margot qualifies. Everyone at that table tonight, the portraits, the 9 forks, the committee, the Tupperware, all of it is a machine for carrying out the preferences of a man none of them ever met. They're not rich, exactly. They're supervised. So let's recap. Dorian can be uninvited. I get button access. Margot fills out a form. Ruth reads the form. A building in another city can veto Ruth, and a dead man overrules the building. 4 billion women. I filtered it down to 1. I was so specific. I should have been more specific. Nowhere on that list did I write, and the money has to be reachable. I came here worried they'd look down on me for having $411. But $411 is mine. I can spend it on something stupid tonight, and nobody fills out anything. Margot can't do that. Margot has never been able to do that. Margot never will. So the next time somebody tells you a family is worth 9 figures, ask who actually gets to press the button. Usually it's a dead guy, and a woman named Ruth. I'm Guy. I married rich and got poor. I guess. For legal reasons, this is not financial, legal, or marital advice. Guy is a cartoon. Augustine is not real. Ruth might be. Please do not sue Guy. If you learned something, subscribe and hit the bell. Guy explains a new scenario every week. Anyway, that's Guy. See you in the next one, I guess.